pissed at me for leaving, so he calls Cause up and says, I'll give you $100,000 to break Hogan's leg. And so now when I go back to New York, Vince had flown to my house. We talked about doing a deal, so I said on a certain day I'm coming back to New York. I did 2-3 weeks of TV. Then when I was supposed to beat the Iron Sheikh for the belt that night, Vince Sr. was there, and he always had these half glasses that he'd look over, and he's always clicking quarters together when he talked to you. You know, and I'm standing there with Vince Sr. and Vince Jr. and myself, and Bob Backlund's standing there, who was the champion that the Iron Sheikh beat for the belt. Now the Iron Sheikh's got the belt, and Backlund thought he was getting the belt back. And Backlund was my guy. I used to go to Japan with him and train with him in Japan when nobody else would run steps with him and everything in the hotel. All of a sudden I'm sitting there and Vince is clicking the quarters together, and he goes, well, I'm really thinking, you know, that I really don't think we should do this tonight. We should put this off for about 6 months. And Bob Backlund pops up and goes, yeah, I think a real athlete should be the champion. So I'm looking over at him, right? And like, what the hell's going on here, you know? And then out of nowhere, you know, I said, well, guys, I just had a huge bridge I just burnt down in Minnesota. And I built a big bridge there. I'll tell you what, I'll arrest the Iron Sheikh and I'll put his ass over because that's business, but I'm leaving. I'm going back and rebuild that bridge. Thank you guys very much for bringing me up there. I went back to the dressing room. It was about 10 or 15 minutes later, Vince Jr. came in. He says, oh, everything's okay. I talked to my dad. Everything's settled down. I said, are you sure? Now what I don't know on the backside is when I leave Minnesota, the promoter, Vern Gagne, who worked there, the Iron Sheikh, Cosgrove Lazario, whatever his real name was, he was a real bodyguard for the Shah of Iran.
Yeah.
He was the real deal, bro. He's got all these huge dents and holes in his head where they used to beat him and stuff when he was over there. What little did I know, Cos, the Iron Sheikh, broke in with Vern Gagne in Minnesota, right? So now I come to New York, and I'm going to win the belt, and Vern Gagne was pissed at me for leaving, so he calls Cos up and says, I'll give you $100,000 to break Hogan's leg. Right? And now this guy's an NCAA champion, the real deal. I'm not, you know? So Vern offers him $100,000 to break my leg.
Oh my God.
And we go in the ring, and I mean, I'm giving him my arm and take my head and take my leg. I mean, you know, I think we're working, you know, not shooting. And he told us afterwards, oh, you know, Dad, my accent's terrible. The Iron Sheikh goes, but, you know, Vern called me and want to give me $100,000 to break your leg, but I'm a businessman. I just hope we can keep working together. I said, brother, don't worry, we're going to work together all the time.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
But that, I don't know if you knew about that, if you're a wrestling fan. But, yeah.
I didn't know that he was offered $100,000 to break your leg.
$100,000.
Smart move for him to not take it. You get $100,000 there, and then you guys never work together, and he's never anywhere near what he became. One of the ultimate heels of all time.
Yeah, but these are all, everybody knows these stories, man. These are
Also,
like,
he's an athlete. He's not a hitman.
Right.
You know, like, it's kind of fucked up. Like
it's a different business. You'd be surprised. Those rules don't apply all the time.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's just, I love the Iron Sheikh.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's great.
Yeah. I hung out with him one time in that Toronto pot place, you know, where they have that marijuana show where the entire room was filled with weed smoke.
Yeah.
And the Iron Sheikh got on stage with me.
Yeah. He's the man. I roasted him 3 times. L.A., Toronto, and Hamilton, Canada. I told him he's such a nice guy, he'd give you the shirt off his head.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He was a freak athlete too, man. You ever see him do the clubs? Yeah.
None of us could do it. We all tried. None of us could do it. I couldn't do it. Andre couldn't do it. None of us could do it.
Andre couldn't do it?
None of us could do it, bro. Those clubs are like 85 pounds a piece.
Are they really?
Yeah, they were heavy as shit. He just manhandled them.
Yeah, that's really hard to do those things.
Yeah.
I do them with these little 25-pound ones, and it's hard to do. And the longer the handle, more difficult it is to maneuver.
You put them behind your head and do them like
yeah,
Cos did?
shield casting. You do this.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and then I do these. I do a bunch of different ones with it. But it's a very weird kind of strength. And when you watch him do it, it's like, he must have been spectacularly strong.
Yeah.
He was a legit wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
Amateur wrestler.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Pan Am champion. I can't. He had a bunch of other accolades.
Yeah, there's, I mean, think about how many, like, real legit, Kurt Angle's a great example. Kurt Angle wins the gold medal with a broken neck. Won a gold medal in the Olympics with a broken neck.
Dude, I'm in the ring with Kurt Angle And we go to square off. He gets down in an amateur stance. His eyes roll back in his head like a shark. I'm looking at him going, brother. And so when I first started working with him, I mean, you're supposed to make, I work with the one-man gang a certain way. I work with Piper a certain way. People work with Hulk Hogan a certain way. There's a certain protocol to set a storyline up. Well, Kurt Angle's just coming at me and taking me down and going behind me and yoking my shit up every night, and this is going on for like 3 or 4 nights in a row, and I'm like, I know he's kind of like green, he's just getting started, and he's got that amateur wrestling mindset, and if you can't break him with that, he's not going to draw any money. I mean, as soon as Brock got that out of his head, he drew nothing but money. So Kurt's coming to me, I finally had to say, I said, brother, what is your deal? I said, I'm here to make money, I'm here to make a living. I said, what's going on with you, man? Why the first 5 or 6 minutes you're trying to grind me out here, Well, Vince told me to screw with you. I said, oh, really? Vince told you to do that? I said, I can't wait to get a hold of Vince now. No, but Vince put it in Kurt's ear. When you're on these house shows with Hogan and nobody sees you, you're not on TV, go out and grind his ass, So that was a big thing for Vince. If I was wrestling San Antonio tonight with no cameras, he'd sit Kurt Angle on me for the first 5 or 6 minutes.
Oh,
but why? What was the reason?
Just for fun, just a joke.
Yeah,
because
so
we would
ridiculous.
all do that shit to each other. It's just a normal wrestling.